Good afternoon, students. Hope all are fine. This is our new video series, and this video series is exclusively for BCom undergraduate program first year students, and this paper name is BCOC132 Business Organization and Management, and through this video series we are going to discuss the important concepts of business organization and management, and similarly we will upload videos of other first year papers too. Before getting into the video, if you feel that the content we are providing through these videos are helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe the channel, and please share the videos with your friends, particularly the IGNO friends, so that it will be helpful for our IGNO community. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So first point is human activity. Okay, we humans are engaged in many activities starting from dawn to dusk, that is from brushing your teeth till you're taking the dinner. You used to engage in many activities, and some of these activities are giving you economic benefit and some are not. So we can divide these activities into two categories, that is economic activities and non-economic activities. Okay, so those activities that are providing you with income, so that is counted as economic activities, and those activities you are doing as a responsibility or as a social obligation, so they are counted as non-economic activities. Okay, so economic activities we can further categorize into three, that is business, profession and employment, and non-economic activities we can categorize them as religious activities, parallel activities, then social activities, right? So these are the two types of human activities. So let's get into detail of economic activity. As I already told you, economic activities are those activities that are generating income. Okay, so that's for the layman knowledge only. So when we are discussing on a business term, economic activities are those activities which involves the production, distribution and consumption of all goods and services. Okay, let's look into the characteristics of economic activities. They are wealth producing activities. Okay, that means when we are doing a business, you are generating profit and you are getting wealth. Okay, then second, they satisfy human wants. The business firms are producing goods and they are distributing the goods, and we are consuming that goods. By consuming that goods or services, we are satisfying our needs and wants. Then they help in earning income. Okay, if you're working for a firm, you are getting salary as a remuneration, and that means the business or the economic activity is helping you in earning income. They help in social development. Okay, while we are considering this definition, the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services happen, that is economic activity is carried out, then the money flow into the economy will be high. Okay, so the government will have enough resources to meet to satisfy the or meet the social development needs. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of economic activity. Now we are going to discuss the three categories that are coming under economic activities. First is business, second is profession, and the third one is employment. So when we are talking about business, that means those activities involves the production and sale of goods and services with an motive of earning the profit by satisfying human needs. Okay, so when we are running a business, your motive is to acquire profit. How you are acquiring profit? Through satisfying the needs and wants of the consumers, right? Okay, then second one is profession. So what do you mean by profession? It involves you have a special knowledge and skill, and you are applying that in your occupation, so that is known as profession. Okay, for example, if you are a lawyer, okay, so you have to register with bar council of India, or if you are a medical professional, you have to register under medical council of India. Okay, after attaining your professional degree, you have to enroll with that councils, and then you can practice by your own. Okay, so the professionals charge some fee for their professional service they render, right? Examples are doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, all are professions, right? Next is employment. Employment refers to if you are working for others and you are getting remunerated for the same, so that is known as employment. Okay, so profession, we can cite examples are doctors, CA, chartered accountant, all are coming under this profession, right? Next, non-economic activities. So what do you mean by non-economic activities? So non-economic activities are those activities which are performed with the purpose of rendering service to others without any consideration of financial gain. So that means you are rendering your services for the welfare of the society and you are not expecting any return. Okay, so those activities are termed as non-economic activities, so they are not generating any income. So activities that are initiated for the personal content or for meeting the human sentiments are non-economic activities. If you are working with a charity organization, or if you are working for the upliftment of deprived classes and you are not getting money with for doing that, okay, or you are working or you are associated with some NGOs, so those activities are counted as non-economic activities. Okay, so what are the features of non-economic activities? First is service motive. You are doing a service to the society, okay, and you are getting a content, or you are getting self satisfaction, a personal content. Then that satisfaction we can't measure in terms of money, so it's a social obligation. Like I told, we have certain obligation to the society, right? So through rendering the non-economic activities, we are serving our social obligation, right? So the next topic is difference between economic and non-economic activities. On the basis of certain criteria, we are going to make a comparison between these two activities. So on the basis of meaning, economic activities are those activities which refer to the human activity that are related to production and consumption of goods and services, and it is for economic gain. Non-economic activities are those activities we are providing services to the others without any monetary gain. Then motive. The motive behind the economic activity is earning money only. So, but for the non-economic activity, social or psychological satisfaction. Then measurement. Economic activity we can measure in monetary terms, but non-economic activity we can't measure. Then approach. That is, for an economic activity is a pragmatic approach, and non-economic activity is an idealistic approach. So these are the differences between economic and non-economic activity. So we are going to discuss in detail what do you mean by business and what are its objectives. Okay, so business refers to those economic activities that are generating income. They are connected with the production and selling of or supply of services as well as goods, and the main motive of doing a business is earning profit. So fishing, mining, all these are counted as doing a business. So what are the objectives of business? It can be classified into two main categories, and first one is economic objective and second one is social objective, and one more subsidiary objective, so that is a human objective. So economic objective includes profit earning. The first and the foremost objective of running a business is earn the profit. So what do you mean by profit? You know that from 5th standard onwards we used to learn about cost price, selling price, and how to calculate profit and how to calculate loss and all, so there is no need to explain it. Okay, so the profit earning is the first objective. Second one is economic objective. Second one is exploration of new market. So you have started a business in in a particular region. Now you want to expand that business and you have to expand the business to the next district or next state, so that is known as exploring new markets, right? Then growth and expansion of business. Then creation of customers. You have to create a cluster of customers or unique customers for your products only, so that is you have to create a niche for that. Okay, so these all are some of the economic objectives of running a business. Second one is social objective. So under social objective, first is providing goods and service at reasonable price. So you have a social objective of running a business. You have to provide goods and services of good quality and at a reasonable price. Second one, employment generation. As we all know, if more business are there, more employment opportunities are generating and people will get more jobs, and when people are getting more job, the more income will come and more money will flow into the economy, right? Then fair remuneration to employees. That is, if you are working with a firm, you have to get fair remuneration, okay? And it's a duty of the business firm to provide fair remuneration to their employees. Then fair returns to shareholders. So we already know that it's a responsibility of the business firms. They have responsibility towards their employees, towards the stakeholders. We can call all these together as a stakeholders. So stakeholders of a firm includes shareholders, then customers, government, society, then the employees. All are the stakeholders. So it's a responsibility of the business firm to take care of the interest of the stakeholders. Then so these are some of the social objective. Now look into the human objective. Human objective includes ensuring economic and social well-being of employees. So it's a duty of the we already know that the human assets, they are the actual or the real assets of an organization. Without proper talented human resource, no organization can run for time, okay? So the human assets are more valuable, and it's a duty of the organizations to take care of the social and economic well-being of the employees. When we are currently we are facing a pandemic, and we all know that people are facing lots of turmoils and particularly emotional so many multinational firms are focusing on providing them emotional well-being based training programs, so that these employees can cope with the challenges as well as their mental problems, that is their mental issues or emotional imbalance, or be managed in a better manner. So these are happenings nowadays, right? Then development of human resource. Then next important thing is development of human resource. So these are some of the social, economic and human objectives of business firms, right? So now we are going to discuss employment and profession, okay? So we discussed already the three categories of economic activities. So first is business, that we already discussed, economic business and its objectives. Now we are going to discuss the employment, the second category of economic activity, and then third category, profession, okay? So employment means you are getting remunerated for the work you are doing, right? So that is known as employment. So employees are the people who are employed by others. So if you're working with a bank, if you're working with an insurance company, if you're working with a manufacturing unit, so all these coming under employment only, and you are receiving wages and salaries, so that is employment. Now what do you mean by profession? Profession we already discussed. So those activities that require special knowledge and skills, and you can practice by your own, so that is known as profession. So a lawyer, chartered accountant, medical professional, so all are coming under profession, okay? So these are the three categories of economic activities. So now we have to compare the business, profession and employment, okay? So on the basis of certain criteria, we are going to discuss the difference between these three: business, profession and employment. So the first one is mode of establishment. On the basis of mode of establishment, business means it's an entrepreneur's decision. If entrepreneur means the person who is starting the business, and the entrepreneur's decision and other legal formalities if necessary. Then profession means you have to take the membership of a professional body, and you have to get a certificate of practice. So you should have a professional expertise. Then employment means you have to get an appointment letter and a service agreement. So that is a mode of establishment. Second one, nature of work. So business means provision of goods and services to the public. Then profession means you are rendering the personalized expert service, okay? Then employment means you are performing as per the rules and regulations set by the organization. Then qualification. For running a business, or starting a business firm, no minimum qualification is there. But for having a profession, you should have an expertise and training in a specialized field. For employment also, particular qualification and training as prescribed by the employer. Then reward or return, that is, for the business the profit is the reward, for profession the professional fee is the reward, for employment salary or wages. Capital investment is required for running a business or starting a business. So profession, limited capital needed for the establishment, but for the employment no capital, so the firm is investing and you are rendering your service and you are getting money for that, so that is employment, no capital is required. Then risk is certainly with the business, because you are spending the money and running the business, and so you are in the verge of risk only. Okay, but for a profession means, okay, if you are a lawyer or if you are a doctor, that profession is also have certain risk, and the fee is generally regular, sometimes it's certain, so risk is associated with that. Then employment means no risk at all, because you are getting a fixed payment and a regular pay, right? And then transfer of interest. So business transfer possible with some formalities. Then profession you cannot. If I am a doctor, so if I want to transfer that professional expertise to some other person, so same profession without to other person who have no expertise in that, so it's not possible. But business, if you are running a business, if you want to transfer that business to a firm, to your friend or if your relatives, it's possible. Then employment also not possible. Okay, then code of conduct, so that is, no code of conduct is prescribed for running a business, but for a profession you have to follow that professional code of conduct. Then for the employment, norms and rules set by the employer, every employee has to follow it. So these are some of the differences between business, profession and employment, right? So it's an important question, so you have to learn about what do you mean by economic activity, what are the three categories of economic activities, and what are the objectives of business, and what are the objectives of profession, what are the objectives of employment, and what are the differences between business, profession and employment, right? Now the next one is sectors of economic activities. Okay, so in Indian economy we have three sectors. The first sector is primary sector, second one is secondary sector, and the third is tertiary structure. Okay, so the primary sector means those sector that is dealing with the agriculture. Secondary means those activities that are related to the manufacturing industry. Tertiary means activities that are generating services. So these are the three sectors in Indian economy: primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. So first we are dealing with primary sector. So primary sector means it refers to that sector of economy which uses natural resources to produce the goods. So the agriculture related sector is coming under primary sector. Then secondary sector, it includes all industries that are concerned with the manufacturing of usable products or finished goods. So finished goods and the concerned industries and usable products manufacturing, all these are coming under secondary sector. So it's again divided into heavy industry and light industry. The heavy industry, secondary sectors, that is secondary sectors we can divide into heavy industry, light industry, right? Then examples of heavy industry means steel making, mining, production of chemicals, etc. Light industry means manufacturing of food, beverages, cosmetics, all are coming under light industry, right? Next is tertiary sector. Tertiary sector means all industries that are providing services to the other business, so they are known as tertiary sectors. That is education sector, healthcare sector, financial sector, entertainment sector, hospitality sector, all the providing services to the society, so they are counted as tertiary sector. Okay, we have one more sectors, that is quaternary sector. So that sectors include all industries that are concerned in the creation and distribution of knowledge, so R&D department, so that is the research and development, education, information technology, consult. So it was normally coming under tertiary sector, but we have a new sector, that is quaternary sector. So that is mainly focusing on creation and distribution of knowledge. So R&D, education, IT, consulting, all are coming under this sector, right? Now there are different types of employment. Okay, so first type is full-time employment. That is those people who work with a firm in accordance with the basic number of hours put forth by the employer. So you are working on a continuous basis, so that is full-time employment. Okay, and part-time employment means that is you are working for a fewer hours than a full-time employee, and you are not entitled to all the benefits that are given to the full-time employee. Okay, then casual employment, that is people who are not hired by their employees on a regular or a permanent basis and do not get social security benefits. So for example, if you are working with a firm for a period of 5 to 6 years, and your working time start from morning 10 a.m. to evening 5 p.m. so then that is full-time employment. Then part-time employment means you have a fewer hours, you are working for 2 to 3 hours with your firms, then you are a part-time employer. Then casual employment, that means you are not hired by the employee. Okay, and you are hired by the employee on a regular or a permanent basis, so you will not get the social security benefit. Contract employment means your employment is fixed for a term, that is your contract with a company for 6 months or 1 year, so that is a contract employment. Then apprenticeship means a practice of training for individual in a particular trade or profession. Okay, particularly with these engineering programs or medical programs, you have to go for apprenticeship. That will make you fit for fit for getting a permanent job, right? That is apprenticeship. Okay, so next is seasonal employment. So these type of employees provide their service on seasonal basis. Okay, so that is for example this diya makers, so they have employment only during the time of festivals, particularly during Diwalis and also, that is coming under seasonal employment. So these are some of the different types of employment, right? Full-time, part-time, casual, contract, apprenticeship, and seasonal employment. Okay, next is industry. So what do you mean by an industry? So industry is a group of organization involved in producing, manufacturing, or handling the same type of product and services, right? So it's a group of organization. When we are saying food industry, so what do you mean by food industry? So that industry is involved in the production and manufacturing of food, right? Beverages industry, so cola, Pepsi and all, so they are coming under beverages industry. So what do you mean by beverages industry? So they are producing and manufacturing beverages. Then automobile industry, so they are involved in the production and manufacturing of automobiles. Okay, so it's a group of organization that are manufacturing the same type of product and services, so that is coming under industry. So we can classify the industries on the basis of nature of activity, then on the basis of size. Okay, so the first one is on the basis of nature of activity. We can classify the industries into genetic industries, then mineral based industries, marine based industries, and foreign based forest based industries. Okay, so first is genetic industries. So genetic industries means those industries in uses plants and animal based product as the raw material. So examples: food processing, vegetable oil, cotton textile, dairy products. So these industries are coming under genetic industry. Next, mineral based industry. So they are using minerals or mining mineral ore as the raw material. So depending upon the raw material, these industries are defined. Okay, next is marine based industry. So their raw materials are derived from sea or ocean. Example: fish oil. Then forest based industry. So these industries use raw materials that are extracted from forest like wood, etc. Right? So example: paper industry, pharmaceutical industry, furniture industry, all are coming under forest based industry. So on the base of nature of activity, we have genetic industries, mineral based industries, marine based industries, and forest based industries. Right? Now on the base of size, we can classify the industries into small scale and large scale industries. So how much money is invested, and how much employment they are offering, and the amount of products coming from these sectors. On that basis, we classify the industries into small scale and short scale in large scale industries. Okay, small scale industries have less capital. SMEs, you heard about SMEs, small and medium enterprises, right? Small scale industries may example pottery, handicraft. Less investment and less number of employees are there, and no sophisticated equipments are using there in that type. Next, on the basis of ownership, we have private sector, public sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector industries, right? Then first is private sector. Private sector means that type of business firms are running by the private individuals. Example: Reliance Industries Limited, Tata, all are private, right? Next, public sector examples are HAL, BHEL, Hindustan, HIL, Hindustan Industries Limited, all are coming under public sector. So that is enterprises that are owned and managed by the government. Then joint sector. So these are industries, they are jointly operated by the state and individual. Example: Maruti Udyog Limited, Maruti Suzuki, right? So it's a joint venture of government and private firm, right? So that is joint sector industry. Then cooperative sector industry. So these industries are operated by the suppliers, producers, and workers of raw material. Amul India. Then lots of cooperative society based industries are there, much more in Gujarat, right? Gujarat, in Kerala, they have lots of cooperative sector industries, right? So on the basis of ownership, private, public, joint sector, cooperative sector industries. Now on the basis of area of operation, they have regional industries, national industries, and multinational industries. So an industry that is based in Gujarat or based in Maharashtra, so that's a regional industry. And national industry means they have manufacturing unit across India, so that is national industry. Then multinational industries means those industries, they have operations across the world or more than the home nation. Okay, so that is known as multinational industries. Okay, so these are the different types of industries on the basis of area of operation, right? Okay. Now, the next important topic is commerce. What do you mean by commerce? Commerce means those activities that are helpful that are helping directly or indirectly in the distribution of goods to the ultimate consumer. Okay, so that is production and manufacturing over. After production, next comes distribution. Then the last part is consumption. Okay, okay, so here plays the role of commerce, distribution. Okay, so those activities that are helpful for the distribution of goods, so that is coming under commerce. Okay. So what are the functions of commerce? It is helpful in the removing the hindrance of person, place, time, exchange, and risk. Okay. So that is the function of commerce. So commerce, without the distribution sector, you will not get the goods at proper time, proper place, and they will avoid the risk factor too, right? So these are the important functions of commerce. Now the classification of commerce. Commerce is classified into two: trade and aids to trade. What do you mean by trade? It refers to the buying and selling of goods and services. So trade can be classified into two: internal trade and external trade. What do you mean by internal trade? The trade that is buying and selling of goods happening within the country. So that is known as internal trade. Okay, that is otherwise known as home trade. And if you are exporting the goods to other country, that is known as an external trade, right? Now internal trade is of two type, that is wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade means you are selling the goods in a bulk, so that is known as wholesale trade. That is a wholesaler. So in distribution we have producer, from the producer who will buy that product, wholesaler. Sometimes the agent will be there, then to the retailer. So sometimes it's a directly from producer to wholesaler to retailer, sometimes the producer, then agent to producer, wholesaler, agent, and retailer. So that is the distribution system. Okay, so the wholesale trade means selling of goods, purchase and sale of goods of a specific variety in a bulk. Okay, so that is known as wholesaler. So wholesale trade, it's a link between producers and the retailers. Okay, next is retail trade. So the when we are buying a good from the local shop, it is coming from as a retail trade. Okay, so if you are buying from the wholesale, so it's a wholesale trade. Okay, retail trade. Retailer buys the goods from the wholesaler or manufacturers and sell them to the final consumer. So he's the last link. So who is the last link of the chain of distribution? That is the retailer. So the next thing is external trade. So external trade implies the trade that is buying and selling of goods and services beyond the geographical limit of the country. It's known as external trade. It's of two type: export trade and import trade. When a country sells goods to another country, it is export trade. Buy the good from another country, it is known as import trade. Next is re-export trade or interport trade. That means okay, India is the exporter. Example, India goods export goods to Australia. Okay, these exported goods are actually imported from Sri Lanka, right? Okay, so we are exporting, India is exporting goods to Australia. Okay, before exporting, what happened? We imported that goods from Sri Lanka. So that type is known as interport trade. Okay. Okay. Next, aids or auxiliaries to trade. So they are facilitators of trade or commerce. Okay, which are they? Transport and communication. So transport, logistics. Okay, so the transport refers to the movement of goods and services, from services too. So that is when we are sending the bank service like ATMs and all these delivering of ATMs, all are happening through this transport or communication things only, right? Then banking and finance, that is bank and financial institution provides credit facility, loan, etc. to provide finance for the smooth running of business. Then insurance. That is another one. Insurance provides protection from the unforeseen things or uncertain things that can happen. Then warehousing, that is overcoming the problem of storage. Warehouses are constructed in accordance with the nature of goods. Then advertising. Advertising means it is one of the most important factor. That is, through the advertising only we used to get to know the about the products that are available in the market. So the advertisement facilitate the flow of goods between producers and the consumers. How? By bringing knowledge about the products to the consumer, right? So these are the facilitators of trade. Auxiliaries or to trade or facilitators of trade are transport and communication, banking and finance, insurance, then warehousing, advertising, right? Now the last topic is MSMEs. What do you mean by MSMEs? Micro, small and medium enterprises. So they are known as MSMEs. Okay. So there is one act, that is Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Act of 2006, that is MSMED Act of 2006. It was notified on October 2, 2006. It deals with the definition of MSMEs. Okay. According to that, micro or small and medium enterprises are classified into two classes. First is manufacturing enterprises and second is service enterprises. Okay. So manufacturing enterprises are defined in terms of investment in the P&M, that is they are depending upon the investment in the plant and machinery. They are classified as micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay. So the service industries or service enterprises, those are engaged in providing or rendering of services. They are defined in terms of investment in equipment. So depending upon the amount they are invested in attaining the or acquiring the equipment, service enterprises are classified into micro, small and medium enterprises. And depending upon the investment firms made in P&M, plant and machinery, manufacturing enterprises are classified as micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay. So okay, we can just look into the categorization of SMVs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, on the basis of investment in plant and machinery as well as in equipment. Okay, we already discussed that if it is a service sector, depending upon the investment in equipment, they are divided as micro enterprises, small scale enterprises and medium enterprises, right? Similarly, for the manufacturing sector, the investment in plant and machinery is the criteria for determining it whether it belongs to the micro sector or small scale sector or medium enterprises. Okay, now we are going to look into the limit. Okay, so the first one is micro enterprises. If it is in the manufacturing sector, then its investment in the plant and machinery should not exceed 22.5 lakh, right? So that is the first one, right? It is 2.5 lakh, right? Okay, so second one is if it is in the service sector, then it should not exceed 10 lakh rupees. So if the investment in equipment is less than 10 lakh rupees in the service sector, then that enterprises belongs to the micro sector, right? Next, if the manufacturing unit is spending or investing between 2.5 lakh and 5 crore, that is, it is the investment in P&M is in between 2.5 lakh to 5 crore, right? Then it is coming under small scale sector, right? Okay. Similarly, in the case of service sector, if the investment in equipment is more than 10 lakh, that is, it should be in between 10 lakh and 2 crore. Okay, it should not exceed 2 crore. Then we will call that service sector is belongs to small scale sector, right? Next, medium enterprises. When we are saying that manufacturing unit is in the medium sector, or it belongs to the medium enterprise category, then what is the criteria? That is, its investment in the P&M should be between 5 crore and 10 crore. That is, if the investment in P&M is between 5 crore and 10 crore, then we will tell that manufacturing unit belongs to medium enterprise sector, right? Next, then next is in the service sector. When we are saying that a particular organization is in the medium enterprise category, then the investment in equipment should be between 2 crore to 5 crore, right? Okay, I'll explain once again. That is, the limit for P&M investment for a micro enterprise manufacturing unit is 2.5 lakh. It should not go beyond that. Okay. Similarly, for a service enterprises, it should, if they want to be in the micro enterprise category, its investment in the equipment should not exceed 10 lakh rupees, right? Then similarly, in the small scale enterprises, for the manufacturing unit, investment in P&M should be between 2.5 lakh to 5 crore, and in the service sector, then it should be between 10 lakh to 2 crore. Then in the medium enterprises category, for the manufacturing unit, the investment in P&M should be between 5 crore to 10 crore, and in the service sector, it should be between investment in equipment should be 2 crore to 5 crore. So you have to remember that for the service sector, it is investment in equipment, and for the manufacturing unit, investment in P&M. So that is the criteria for distinguishing micro enterprises and small scale enterprises and medium enterprises, right? Okay, so next is UDYOG Memorandum. What do you mean by UDYOG Memorandum? It is a one-page registration form which constitutes a self-declaration format under which the MSMEs, that is micro, small, medium enterprises, have to self-certify its existence, bank account detail, promoter or owners, ADHAR details, and other minimum information required, and there shall not be no fee for filling the UDYOG Memorandum. So they have to online register their details. It's a self-declaratory one. There is no need for attestation and all. Self-attestation is enough. And they, in that registration form, they have to fill their necessary details like a bank account detail, promoter or owner, their ADHAR details, and the minimum information required or mentioned in that site, right? Now we are looking into the significance and role of MSMEs in Indian economy. As far as every economy is concerned, SMEs, small and medium enterprises, plays a pivotal role in the development of that economy. Okay. As far as India is concerned, MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, have a great role or have a significant role in the social economic development of our nation. Okay. We are a country of vast population and vast geographical area. Okay, so to cover the entire population, these MSMEs are inevitable. Okay, so the first important role is to generate large scale employment. So it's not easy for the government to provide employment in the government sector to each and every individual of our country. Okay, so to generate large scale employment, MSMEs plays a great role. Then to sustain economic growth and increase export, we have to increase our export. So what do you mean by increasing export? That we have to produce lots of goods in our countries, then only we can export. So how you can export, how you can produce large number of items in our country using our MSMEs, or through our MSMEs we can increase our export. Next, making growth inclusive. Making growth inclusive means we have to make sure that every individual of our country or every citizen of our country should be a part of this development. That is, they all are getting equal significance and equal priorities in the development program. Okay, so that is one of the most important role MSMEs are playing, particularly in the rural area. The people are living in below poverty line. Along with that, the literacy level is very low, malnourishment is there, so lots of issues are facing in the rural India. Okay, so for addressing those problems, these MSMEs can contribute a lot. Okay, they can provide employment to the rural population. Along then, when they are providing employment, income is generating. Then income is generating means people will forced to go for schools and all, and their next generation will be educated, and then we can make them a part of our development process. Okay, so that's why the government initiated many these type of inclusive growth programs, starting from ADHAR. That is, every Indian citizen should have an ADHAR identity card, and that is linked to the PDS, that is the public distribution system, and every individual should have a bank account. All these things are now happening in our country, right? So why these are happening? To making the growth inclusive, right? We don't want to miss out any Indian citizen. Then, emerging focus of India's MSMEs policies aims at covering the entire life cycle of MSMEs to ensure healthy, vibrant and competitive MSME sector. Okay, if a country have a healthy, vibrant, and vibrant means a strong, vibrant and competitive MSME sector, definitely the development will come. Okay, next, UDYOG or MSME registration. Another name for MSME registration is UDYOG. Is a certificate that is provided to micro, small and medium sized enterprises in India under the MSME Act of 2006. Okay, then UDYOG is all used to be referred as MSME registration earlier. Previously it is known as MSME registration, now it is known as UDYOG. Okay, next, what are the we heard about this Make in India project and all. So the government is focusing more on Make in India projects. Many startups and all, they are pushing many on small scale entrepreneurs to come with innovative ideas and to start the business, and the government is providing lots of assistance for the same, right? So what are the benefits of registration of MSME enterprises? If you are registered under the UDYOG, what are the benefits you will avail? Okay, first one is easy finance availability from banks without collateral requirement. There is no need for collateral. When you are applying for a loan, you will easily get the finance from the bank. Second one, protection against delay in payment from buyers and right of interest on delayed payment. There is a less probability of delay in payment. Then, preference in procuring government tenders. If you are registered under UDYOG Limited, you will get a preference while procuring the government tenders. Then, concession in electricity bill. So there is another big benefit. Next is reservation policies for manufacturing production through conciliation and arbitration. So some issues or some conflicts are happening, conciliation as well as arbitration process will be happening, and the government will take care of that. Okay, then reimbursement of ISO certification expenses. ISO, you already know that it's a standard procedure. So ISO certification is a must. If you want to export your goods, ISO certified goods only can make it to export. Okay, so it's not an easy process, so that is an expensive process, and the government will reimburse that expenses if you are registered under MSME registration or UDYOG. Okay, so these are some of the important points from first unit of business management, business organization and management paper. Okay, in the upcoming videos we will discuss the other topics. Okay, so please go through it. If you have any suggestion, please put in the comment. So that's all for now. So before winding up, please have a look into this quote. Don't follow your dreams, chase them. So dear students, if you want to make your dreams a reality, you have to chase them. You have to work hard with perseverance, then only you can attain it and you can make it a reality. Okay, so all the best for the same. And if you feel that these contents we are providing through these videos are good enough and it is helpful for you, then please like, share and subscribe the channel, and please share the videos with our IGNO community so that it will be helpful for them too. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please put into the comment box and we will get back to you. So we will upload the remaining topics in the upcoming weeks. So till then, it's bye from me. So take care, stay safe, stay healthy and stay calm. Thank you once again.